12-15. Winning the last 4 games, Federer, 6-3, has leveled the match. They'll play best 2 of 3 for the Australian Open title. Chris?
All right, Dick, thank you very much. What a turnaround. Up a set, serving at 3-2. Nadal, a very scratchy game, and Federer, who had been kind of droopy, I didn't think his body language was very good, or his belief, suddenly gets energy.
All of a sudden at 3-2 there, 3 unforced errors and a double fault, and then all of a sudden Federer opens up his game. He starts going forehand to the forehand side of Nadal, and all of a sudden, to me, that's where the Nadal movement is moving a lot slower. He's leaving the forehand side of the court open, and Federer finally picks up on that. Boom, no movement there from Nadal, and all of a sudden there's an area in Fed's game where he feels like he can get to. Look at, once again, no movement from Nadal, and Fed takes advantage.
If someone had said coming in, though, that the Federer backhand to Nadal's forehand would be a good matchup for Federer, you've been shocked?
I would tell you 0 chance of that. But Fed is standing much closer to the baseline, taking the ball on the rise and making progress going to the Nadal forehand. But I think if Nadal's got any chance in this match, I mean, he has to up his movement. He needs the movement, or he has to take more offense.
The quality of play, not really what we saw at the Wimbledon final, but then it's hard to match that. I think the pressure of what's at stake for both guys is come into play. You can almost feel the tension out there. And Nadal, you think the consequences are huge for letting that second set slip away for his chances for winning.
Yeah, I really do. And I mean, that match the other night has to take its toll. And I think that's why Rafa's head went down a little bit when he let that break get away. It wasn't that Roger broke him. He broke himself. Roger picked up on it, and now his body language is up. Look for Roger to stretch this lead quickly here in the 3rd set.
Well, Rafa has left the court, headed to the locker room to try to regroup, take a little break, and we'll send it back to Dick and Patrick.
All right, gentlemen. You know, this crowd totally entertained by the first 2 sets, and they seem more than pleased that Federer was able to rally from a set down and run off 4 straight games to take that second set at 6-3.
Well, not great serving numbers as Rafa makes his way back from the locker room and
talking to himself,
pumping himself up. Running back on Rod Laver Arena. I'm going to let Federer know that he still has plenty left, but the serving numbers for Federer have been very poor. Other than that, the numbers are good, although the break points, luckily for Federer, sort of got over that hump a little bit, because you're starting to wonder if that pattern would continue, but he finally broke a couple of times late in that second set. But if he can pick up the serving, Federer, I think it's going to make things very difficult for Nadal, because despite serving under 50%, you know, Federer's at a set all. So he really had to sort of fight his way through in that second set to win his service games, and wasn't able to do it that easily.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little more belief now in Federer as well. He's been so uncomfortable on the court for the first hour 30, and all of a sudden in the last 20 minutes he's got that strut back. He's starting to play a lot better, hitting the backhand cleaner, and as we've been saying, getting a lot of success now stretching Nadal to the forehand side. There's hope for him. He's found something he can get onto, get his teeth into.
So a new start. We open the 3rd set, 1 set all. As you can see, an hour 50 minutes into this match.
Passing shot from Nadal, but for the life of me, Dick, can't figure out why Federer doesn't hit that kind of return every time, particularly in the deuce court where it's highly unlikely that Nadal is going to hit the second serve out into the forehand corner. That was a great aggressive return.
still waiting for that drop volley, Patrick. I'm hanging for one.
I think you're going to wait a while because I'm not sure he can do it off the action that Nadal gets on his passing
On
shots.
that previous one, for sure he could have done it on the first one, and it's so tough to volley against Nadal. Deep. And if you don't hit a winner off that drop volley, at very least you've got him coming in an uncomfortable position, and he can't generate any pace from that short ball. It's a good option for him to try.
Little stagger in the step of Nadal trying to set up for that last shot. Talk about these two men as battlers, as fighters, and you think about boxing, and that's where the first giveaway arrives when the man's legs seem to be weary. I wonder about Nadal. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, that's that short backhand slice that Federer uses so effectively against so many players, but it just doesn't work against Nadal. He's too quick. Obviously, it's on his forehand side. Look at the way he moves up into the court. And that one sat up a little bit, but even when Federer hits it reasonably well, Nadal usually makes him pay.
Strikes that ball with so much confidence. Just wide, so Nadal holds to open the third set. Just to refresh your memory, in that Wimbledon Classic last summer of 4 hours and 48 minutes, the longest ever final at the All England Club, it was Nadal jumping out to a 2-set lead, 6-4, 6-4. Then Roger battling, digging to win 2 tie breaks in the third and fourth sets before the final set went to 9-7 just before the last of daylight, and darkness already upon the All England Club. 9-7 Nadal to win the Wimbledon title and break the stranglehold that Federer has had on that event. And Rogers won 3 times here in 04, in 06, and 07. He's won 5 times at Wimbledon and 5 U.S. for his 13 majors. Look how deep Nadal is for this first serve.
Federer trying to tie the great Pete Sampras, who won twice down here. Won 7 Wimbledons and 5 U.S. Opens.
Base number 7 for Federer.
Well, Federer's a rhythm server, and if he starts to find his rhythm, and look out, he really hasn't found it the whole night on the first serve.
A variety of spins from Federer in that point. Earns a 40-love lead. There it is in history. Most single titles in majors. Sampras 14. Federer leaning behind him. Emerson, Roy Emerson 12. The Aussie. Borg with 11. And Rod Laver, after whom this great arena is named, with 11. Bill Tilden of the United States with 10. The other man in double figures. And there is the rocket from Rockhampton. Rod Laver now makes his home in Southern California. He won here 40 years ago to complete his second Grand Slam. He won all 4 majors in the same year, 62, and then repeated in 69. with a 6-year absence because of the amateur status in the major events, and he had turned professional.
In fact, Dick, the 4 finalists that he beat in those 4 Grand Slam finals are all here.